It's August 6th, 2021, and as you might guess from the sound and what's behind me, I am underway aboard my 1936 wooden powerboat Tortuga, just out for a short afternoon cruise by myself today, and we're just gonna go out, cruise around a little bit, maybe look at some boats here in the harbor. Matter of fact, why don't we do that now? I'm gonna cruise over and go by a few interesting ones. Now here's the view forward, and you can see mostly fishing boats over toward Clark Point, but a little further back there are some other interesting boats. I'm just running it idle right now because the engine has not warmed up fully. Got a very racy looking low profile sailboat. I do not know what kind of boat that is. Beyond it is a Luder's 16, the black hulled boat with the boom tent. It looks like a Catalina over there. And we are going to go by Hieronymus. Hieronymus is a Ralph Stanley built friendship sloop, and this is an absolutely beautiful boat, built about 200 yards from where it is right now by Ralph Stanley back in the middle 60s, and his son has been maintaining it had been maintaining it for years, but more recently it has been in the care of Ocean House. They have a couple of very skilled wooden boat guys there that keep that boat looking beautiful. Okay. This part of the harbor is not someplace I come very often because it's very shallow. But here's another Catalina. And something right over here. Look at that tumble home. Yeah, I do not know what that boat is, but it sure has a lot of tumble home. And we'll go look at some of the lobster boats that are in. A lot of them are still out for the day. It's about 2:45, and not all the lobster boats are in. Here we go. And here's this boat with all the tumble home. This little red boat is a lobster yacht of some sort, because lobster boats tend not to have varnished seats at the back of the boat. So that's a sort of giveaway that that one isn't an active lobster boat. But right behind it we have one with a cormorant on top of the mast of the schooner right behind it. Lobstermen don't fool around with their moorings. Notice this guy has a chain painter going up to the boat. And a typical lobster boat with a dry exhaust, a rack for gear, and that's about it. This old schooner here has been here hanging on a mooring for a couple of years, and you can see it looks pretty rough because of that. And I've never seen it underway. And more lobster boats. Okay, I think I've got engines warmed up enough I can tweak my boat speed up a little. We're going by Beale's Lobster Pier right now. They buy lobsters and sell fuel, and they also have a lobster restaurant. And right next to Beale's, where those lobster boats are tied up, is the town dock, one of the 3 town docks. Continue out. This green boat has the look of what's called a Novi boat with the high bow. Again, dry exhaust, as is very common. And here we have the Coast Guard base, 2 motor lifeboats, a buoy tender. And looks pretty quiet over there right now. And some other boats out on mooring. And we will go past a few of them. The left-hand boat there is a Hinkley 52. It's hanging on a mooring. And then we've got another boat, I don't know what it is, anchored out there. Okay, let's cruise out a little further and see what we can find. Well, we're out of the harbor now. I'm going to go around and film boats on the way back in. Somebody in a Go Fast just crossed our bow there. There's been a lot of power boats out today, a lot of confused wakes out here. It's light air, but it's choppy with waves coming in every conceivable direction because of the wakes. And I've already had to run away from one guy who was running kind of at maximum wake speed right at the entrance to the harbor. And here's the view looking out over toward Mount Desert Island, Bear Island with the lighthouse on it, white building over there, and a few sailboats. Most of the sailboats that are out are over there toward Great Cranberry Island. There's looks like a racing fleet. I'm too far away to tell what they are, but from the size they could be Luder's 16s. I see a few spinnakers, so they're headed back in. And closer here we have Friendship Sloop number 122. This boat has been on a mooring very near Tortuga's slip in the marina for about the last week, and it does not have a name on it. So I'm going to have to look it up on the Friendship Sloop Society and see what it's called. Either that or motor over and ask the people what it's called. Although there is a big lobster boat coming in, and I can see he's leaving a pretty good wake. So I think I'll stay away from him for a while. Let that wake have some distance to dissipate. You can see the white caps it's creating more than 100 yards behind the boat. One noteworthy feature this year is that there's not much lobster gear in the Great Harbor. Normally there's a lot more than this, just a few traps here and there. Now, I do not know why. Apparently the lobstermen don't think there are any lobsters in here, or they would have more traps. We're hitting that lobster away now. Short, steep wakes are not good for Tortuga. But anyway, it's, you know, surprising how little lobster gear there is. Of course, from the point of view of recreational boater, it's wonderful because we do not have to worry about it that much because there just isn't that much lobster gear. Doesn't mean you can ignore it, but you do. But you can be a little less attentive because there isn't quite as much. Now let's loop back around and take a closer look at that Friendship Sloop. It's a nice looking little Friendship Sloop. Wish I knew what she was called. Guess I'll be close enough to ask. That was interesting. I got a quick look at that Friendship Sloop. He's in the middle of changing the name back to the original name. He did not tell me what it was though. But we're going to exchange pictures. And he seemed interested to hear that he's going to be on YouTube. So we're going to head back into the harbor now and just take a look at some boats in the harbor. Just cruise around for a few minutes and see what's in there. Well, we're coming into the outside of the mooring field, and what I'm going to do is just motor in and make a few going to pass here is about a 50-footer named Hound. I have no idea what this boat is. It may well be a custom boat. It certainly has a lot of cowl vents, so somebody likes ventilation, but it's a beautiful boat. And that boat with the cover on the back is a Hinckley Talaria 48. They're a dime a dozen, well, actually more like $20 million a dozen, but they're common around here. This boat is named Thistle. It is a Hinckley 48 yawl. Now this is an old boat. They built these back in the 60s. They're sort of like a Bermuda 40 on steroids. Very big, powerful sailing boat. Centerboarder though. I have no idea what this little sort of pilot house boat is. It's a fairly salty looking boat though. But there's no indication of what kind of boat it is on it. See what else we can find. This boat is a Morris M36. This was Morris Yacht's entry into the sort of day sailor wars back in the early 2000s. These are beautiful little Sparkman Stevens designed day sailors. They only have about 4 feet of headroom in the cabin. This little green boat here is an International One Design. These are One Design racing boats that were imported into this area back in the 30s as a fleet. And this one's kind of unique, as you can see, in that it's green on one side and sort of salmon or some variant of orange on the other side. And these are wooden boats. These are very nice sailing boats. They sail as a One Design fleet here. They are engineless. So if the wind dies, they generally end up getting towed in. As we head up the harbor here, we're going to pass several lobster yachts. It's very hard to tell who built them. They all look very much the same. This one's about a 28-footer or so. And here is a much bigger one coming up right now. But basically a lobster boat style hull with a yacht built into it. This is a Wilbur built here in Southwest Harbor. And we've got a selection of sailboats. Another lobster yacht over there. Again, I do not know what that one is. And here's another little lobster boat style cruiser, rigged as a yacht. And here, this little white boat with the green sail cover is a Luders 16. That's built just after World War II, and it is built using hot molding construction techniques with multiple layers of veneer put into a mold with glue and then baked to cure the glue. Now this is an interesting looking boat. It's a new boat here this year. It's a Axopar built in Finland, and very unique appearance. It sits in storage right next to my sailboat Sequester in the winter though. And this is an older Sabre 36 fast trawler. Very comfortable boat. And I can't read the name on this one, but this one is a Jarvis Newman 27. And there's another one right over here. This may also be a Jarvis Newman 27. But These are very pretty, traditionally rigged friendship sloops. This is a fiberglass boat, so I'm pretty sure it is a Newman. And it has wheel steering. Very nice little boat. Let's see what it's called. This one is Osprey. And there's a Pearson 35. And a very distinctive looking boat, an Allied 36. More friendship sloop right here that will go by. This one is named Old Baldy. It looks a lot like a Newman 27 because this is the boat that Jarvis Newman made the mold for the Newman 27s from. It's a wooden boat. I'm gonna loop past another boat. Well, I'm going to look at one more boat as we come in here. This is a locally built boat. This is a Pisces 21, which is based on the Herreshoff fish. And it's built by the Classic Boat Shop over in Bernard, Maine. Little 21-footer. Beautiful boats. And I'm sure they'll be happy to build you one. And I'm sure they'll be happy to build you one if you want. Well, that pretty much covers today. I'm going to head back to the marina and tie up, and we'll see if I can just keep filming until we're back in the slip. It's pretty simple to do. So basically what I'm going to do is motor into the slip. We've got a southwest wind which is going to blow me onto the finger pier, so all I have to do is get into the gap between my finger pier and the boat next to me. That gap is about 16 feet wide. Tortuga's 9.5, so plenty of room. And once I'm in there, I will stop. And I left a spring line on the dock, and I will just reach down, pick up the spring line, and put it on my midships cleat. Once the spring line is on the midships cleat, all I have to do is turn the helm hard to starboard, because I'll be port side to the finger pier, and put the engine in gear forward at idle, and that will pull the boat right over against the finger pier. It's very simple, and the only time it's a little tricky is if the wind is blowing you off of the finger pier, in which case you have to get that spring line on the very first try, or you're going to be on top of the boat next to you. Okay, we're going to head in now. I'm just running at idle speed, heading over toward the marina. And right there at the end of the dock, there's a blue boat, and then a boat inboard of it, and we're coming in just on the port side of the second boat. So I'll go up here, make my turn, and that will be that. They've set a couple of new moorings right in here, which makes it a little tight, but we can still manage it. So that's where we're coming in. So I just need to come up here and make a 180-degree turn. now reverse. Well, back at the dock, Tortuga's all tied up, so I'm off the boat for another day. I won't be back until tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more content like this, just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.